Well, the first top line is the hardest hotline. Don't you worry anymore. 'Cause when Topline Hotline on your face, it's danger at your door.
Oh, that was good.
Will you come with me? Won't you hotline my top line? Whoa, what I wanna know. Will you answer my questions about go-to-market in your face?
In your face is your favorite line.
I think it's so funny because what am I mean? What am I doing with that phrase? Who knows what it means?
That was you rhymed in that one. That was impressive. You
that was
rhymed
an
words.
Uncle John's Band by the Grateful Dead reference, everybody. Welcome to Topline Hotline, a short 5, 10, sometimes 15-minute segment answering burning questions from the go-to-market community about go-to-market. It's me, Sam Jacobs, AJ Bruno, Asad Zaman. Asad, what is the question from the community today?
Let's do this. Okay, so hey team, I need your help. We have 2 solutions, and while the first one is doing well with a motivated go-to-market team, the second solution has a larger market and is easier to sell. The second solution was released in the last 2 years. However, the sales of our second solution are struggling. I'm looking for strategies to focus more on selling the second solution and growing the sales team. Should we create a separate team? How can we scale up sales for the second solution when our culture is more geared towards the first? Would love your ideas and strategies. It's a common challenge, especially as companies get to like 10, 15, 20 million in revenue and you go from like this one thing to now you have more things to sell. How do we get a team to sell it? Do you need multiple teams? Do you do it within one team? It's a common problem. AJ.
I thought you were going to ask a question about healthcare IT playbooks and something from our last episode that dropped.
I need. Has anybody ever hired an outsourced SDR firm?
That question is like 3 times a week.
This question is a really fundamental question that there's probably more information that is needed to truly answer it. So I'm going to just like parse it for what it is and assume that one product is enterprise and one product is transactional SMB and has a totally different go-to-market motion. Is that how you guys read the question?
Let's play that scenario out. Let's just do scenarios. So let's say one scenario is you've built a product that is enterprise focused and now you have a more transactional solution that you've built on top of it. What do you do now?
Yeah, I think you absolutely do need a totally different motion and different team. I might not even live in sales. You know, it might be a product-led motion. It might be a marketing-led motion. And I think you absolutely do a lot of testing with it in a honestly, a department that's used to testing. And I don't think sales is that. Sales is structured. Sales is repeatability and predictability and forecasting. And if it's a newer product that's struggling, I would guess that there's an enablement understanding product challenge that's happening, and it absolutely probably should go elsewhere. And where it goes elsewhere, I mean, that's up to your business. I typically lean towards a executive or someone that's really leaning into it, that's excited to understand it, that is excited to map it, and is frankly a good 0 to 1 person. So that might not be you as the CRO. That might be someone else that exists in the organization. Those are my initial thoughts.
What if now scenario 2 is you've built a product for the same market? So it's not necessarily you're going into an SMB motion from an enterprise company. You're just selling to the same type of decision maker, something different. And now your team's getting confused. Do I start with this? Do I expand there? What do I do?
Sam. Look at you little devil with your scenarios. You're a little devil. You're a little sly guy.
Scenarios. Okay, so let's play that scenario. What's happening then, AJ?
Well, no, I've kicked that over to Sam. I think Sam's better
Sam,
suited. It's a horizontal play. Sam has multiple product lines.
In general, first of all, we should tease the question asker a little bit. Right? This thing is selling well, but is harder to sell, and this thing is selling poorly, but is easier to sell. That doesn't make sense. Question asker.
Yeah.
Get your ish together.
That is very true.
That's a dumb framing of but I do understand what you mean. You're like, this thing should be doing better. Why isn't it doing better? Yeah. I honestly, what do I know? I think the more things I think doing multiple things is hard. I think AJ's basically right, as with most things, which is a new product. It depends how adjacent the product is. If it's a natural extension of a workflow, then no, I don't think you need a separate team, but you still might need a product specialist. But in general, different segments, different motions, different products need dedicated resources. I think at Pavilion, we sell sponsorships to companies and we sell corporate memberships to companies, and we have two different people doing that. And should it be possible to sell the whole suite of products with one person to a company that has multiple touch points, where the marketer is buying in one situation and the head of sales enablement or the head of revenue is buying in another situation? I'm sure it should be possible, but you're always going to need specialists, which is a way of saying there's no free lunch. You want to make an impact on something, you're going to need to invest in it to make that impact. And that's, we talked about Adam Robinson on this week's episode, and one of the things that resonated for me with what you said, Asad, is he goes big. He picks the things that he wants to do, and then he goes big on those things. He's going to start doing LinkedIn. He hires a coach. He's going to start doing video. He sets up the home office. He even has a producer where they go through and they write a script. What's the corollary to this question? You want to sell a different product or you want a different market? You're going to need a team. You're going to need a dedicated product marketer, probably. Yep. It's going to be hard. You say, why do I need a separate product marketer to do? I don't know why. Because people have trouble doing more than one thing at once. At least men do. I have a friend who's always saying, oh, that must be because you're a man. That person is sexist.
I like how humble you
guys are. What does that have to do
with
the question? Not a damn thing. Also, both Abe and Ozzy got haircuts today, and they are such beautiful boys.
I realized that out of all the various notable people in our ecosystem of go-to-market in tech, you guys are probably the most humble I've ever come across. You keep questioning, what do I know? What do I know? Both of you do it. It's very sweet. Okay, so here's
Sam does it out loud. I just usually say it. Sam does it out loud. I usually just say it in my head. No, I say it in my head all the time. It's a topic
for us to discuss at some point, because I do think that there's creating a balance between being humble and confident is something that's really hard to do. You should never tilt too much in one direction, because then it can be quite damaging. But maintaining that balance is hard, and it's necessary for the type of things. Yeah, it's very hard. And
I'll tell you, to the point of this question, though, I'm sure we had a QBR for our CEO Pavilion today, and it's a good program, but it could be a great program. But what do we need to do to make it a great program? We need to invest more in it. And I don't mean more, I don't even mean more stuff. I mean dedicated product marketing. I mean, probably another dedicated CS person. We probably need a dedicated seller, right? We have enrollment managers. Our close rate on CEOs is actually half of what it is on regular members. Why is that? Well, it's because it's sort of like a side thing that nobody's really 100% focused on. So to the point of this question, I just think this is why it's hard, because you want to size your bets and you want to have a clear understanding of tranching your investments. But you also, if you want something to happen, it needs to be somebody's number one job, and it needs to be an area of focus. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to be half pregnant. It's hard to be, so diffuse across all your different initiatives, which is why prioritization is so important.
It's a great point. It's hard to be half pregnant?
I ignored that comment. I don't know what that means, but I'm interested.
It is hard.
You never heard that?
Huh?
It just means it's there's certain binary outcomes that you can't. It's one or the other.
Heard that.
You want to test a new market. Well, you're going to get back results proportional to your test. You want to go big on a market, you're going to have to bet big. So what you really are going to need is, so how do you have the confidence to bet big? You need data. And you need to have a framework for testing so that you can understand, should I deploy more capital against this opportunity? It's still funny that this person said this is a harder thing why is it? It's not doing well, but it's easier to sell, which is just, that's a strange thing to say.
So Jotro speaks, there are a few resources I can point people to. So Jotro, I think, has spoken a lot about how when you release a second product, a lot of companies make this cardinal mistake of they think we have product market fit already. And they think product market fit is this thing that you gain early on in your business, 0 to 1 million, and then you just have it. We're going to cover product market fit in some episodes coming up, because I think there's some really good new resources out there. But Jacques has traditionally spoken about this and said, if you're going into a new market, new geography, or you have a new product, assume you're at 0 and you have to experiment your way to product market fit and then go to market fit, etc., etc. There's another book that I think is really interesting called Zone to Win by Jeffrey Moore, the same guy who wrote Crossing the Chasm. And it is a study on why some large enterprises like Salesforce and Microsoft are able to introduce new business lines that have a huge impact on their valuations, at least from a multiple perspective, and why some companies haven't benefited from those multiple expansion when they introduce new products like Oracle. Oracle hasn't benefited from it traditionally. And what they found is that whenever you're trying to do something new, you have to treat it like something new. Exactly what Sam is saying. To the point at Salesforce, those hires are different hires. They're salespeople who can sell something 0 to 1 versus who are selling something that's advanced and known. Even the developers, they had different name tags and key access to the office. They had a different office. Like, they treated it as a startup within a larger business and let it go through its motions.
Which is why I think this person that's asking the question is kind of set up, doesn't understand that. They said it's easier to sell, but they're struggling to sell it. I don't think they understand that fundamental point that you just made, Asad.
And the last thing for personal experiences at STA, when I first joined, I joined STA was about 6 or 7 years into its journey. I created our executive search practice in 2016. Till then, they'd placed 11 VPs. In the first year of executive search, we placed more VPs than we had in our history. And it was because we put focus on it. We created a team for it. We treated it as a startup. We let it do its own thing. So focus and space to figure things out without assuming that your product market fit here translates, your go-to-market fit here translates. I think those are the things you have to do. So yeah.
I just want to underscore that point that every time you change something, new product, new market, new go-to-market motion, you're starting from 0, or you're starting from far behind. You're not starting from the same point of the rest of your business.
That's the big
another great episode of Topline, everybody. We're signing off now. I'm gonna go give my dogs some kisses. AJ's going to give his wife and his children some kisses. And Asad is going to give his partner some kisses.
Yup.
He might also give his vape some kisses.
Yeah.
Have a great evening, everybody, wherever you're, or morning. I don't know when you're listening to this, but thanks for listening. 5 stars in the iTunes store, Spotify store. Join our Slack channel. It's where all the good stuff happens. Thanks, everybody.
Signing off with kisses.
Kisses.